When you're in the kitchen, it's all about the food. Yummy, yummy food. However, if I eat this packet of Tim Tams at 4 o'clock in the afternoon versus 4 o'clock in the morning versus 6 o'clock at night, doesn't matter when I eat them. Will it make a difference? And there's a lot of argument about when we should eat food. In fact, there's a big controversial extreme argument about when we should eat food. So there's people who say you should eat 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times a day to keep your metabolism sped up. And there's people that say that you should eat once a day, if not once every second day. And some people even more extreme than that, which is eat 7 days and then have 7 days off, or eat 2 days and have 2 days off. Some people even longer, have a fasting period of 2 weeks several times throughout the year, which means eat no food for 2 weeks. So when should you eat food? And there's the important question. When should you eat food? When is the best time of the day that food is going to give you the most energy? And could that be different for everybody? And I always use the example of when is breakfast, because we often hear breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And if you break that word up, and I'm sure you've heard people break it up, which is break the fast. I'm going to eat after I've been fasting, after I haven't eaten for a long time. And now there's a lot of people, the intermittent fasters have taken that to don't eat breakfast, don't eat lunch, don't eat till after 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And there's lots of people who say eat first thing in the morning and then don't eat anything after 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So how do you know what to believe? Because there's experts that will argue all of those points. I always ask the logical questions because for me food is a very controversial, contradicting, very interesting topic, of course, but we all do it. Whether you eat once a day or 17 times a day, that's called eating. We put stuff into our mouth, we consume stuff that is edible. So the question for me is, does it matter? So that's why I asked the question about the Tim Tams. If I eat Tim Tams, whether I eat one or the whole packet, if I eat them at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, does it matter? Does the calorie count change by eating at 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 4 o'clock in the morning? Of course, the answer is no. The same amount of calories, fat, carbohydrate, sugar, whatever you want to call a packet of Tim Tams is going to be the same at 4 o'clock in the morning or the 4 o'clock in the afternoon. What your body does with that's my question. What does your body do with the sugar, the fat, and I break it down very simply. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, which is what macronutrients are made of. Whether it's fat or carbohydrate or protein, they're all made of. Well, fat and carbohydrate are made of CHO, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. And if it's protein, it's going to have nitrogen in it. They're all made of the same thing. So it doesn't matter when we put it into our body, what happens to it, and does it matter what time of the day we put it in? So I'm going to go a little bit on the extreme on this one because I don't think we study this enough. If you feel guilty about the food that you eat, if you feel stressed about the food that you eat, so if you're counting hours between meals, I can't eat for the next 3 hours, I can't eat till tomorrow, I've got an intermittent fast for 16 hours, and you start hating the process of food, if you get stressed about food, and then God forbid you eat something, I can't eat for the next 16 hours, but you eat something and then you feel guilty because you ate it. Is it possible that regardless of how healthy the food is, regardless of how much hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, nitrogen you're putting into your body, that stress in itself, guilt, which is a form of stress, takes away the enjoyment of food, but it also puts chemicals, neurotransmitters into your body that cause negative effects if you don't go and sprint, lift heavy, de-stress. Now, a lot of people use food as a de-stressor. So I feel stressed about my life, I feel guilty, so I'm going to eat this packet of Tim Tams, which then, of course, makes me feel guilty or adds more stress into my life, and I haven't de-stressed. So that's, of course, where we get some serious challenges. So my first question is, what time is the best time of day for you to eat food? And if it's got guilt or stress attached to it, could that be a challenge? The next thing is, depending on who you are, so that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. What if you're a shift worker? What if you're an international pilot or flight attendant? What if you work as a croupier at a casino and you don't finish till 4 o'clock in the morning? When is breakfast for you? And do we have to label them as breakfast, lunch and dinner? And the reverse of that, is it possible that a lot of people eat not because they're hungry, they eat because it is breakfast time or it is lunchtime or it's dinner time? And I certainly have lots of people in my life like that, where their life is controlled by the clock, or their eating habits are controlled by the clock. It's 7 o'clock, I have to have breakfast. It's midday, I have to have lunch. It's 6 o'clock, I have to have dinner. Regardless of whether or not they've done anything all day, or regardless of whether or not they're hungry. So I'll work with the first one first. If I fill my car up with petrol, when do I need to put petrol in again? Now, I can't put petrol in if it's already full. It'll spill out. So there's a really important thing to consider there. If you haven't done anything, if you haven't used any fuel, if you haven't ignited, started up the engine and got it moving, you've just been sitting. If a car's been sitting and it hasn't burnt anything, any fuel, and the fuel tank is still full, why would you take it to the petrol station and put petrol in it? You can't, it would spill out. The human body, it doesn't spill out, it spills into your fat cell and you become bigger, fatter, larger, whatever you want to call it. And it doesn't matter which macronutrient, whether it's carbohydrate, protein, fat or alcohol, in one way, shape or form, if you don't use them up, they will end up in your fat cell, whether it's subcutaneous fat between your skin and your muscle, or visceral fat, which is around your organs, which is dangerous. So if we eat too much, we're obviously going to be we're going to have a challenge. So why do we put fuel in if we don't need it? I'm just going to plant that as a question. If I ate at night time and I haven't done anything, do I need to put fuel in it again in the morning? Now, you may need to, and one of the examples I always use, have you ever had a shave, whether it's shave your legs? My dogs are going, food, we love food, and they're barking. Don't you just love it? Dogs just have no challenge with their food whatsoever. Digress. If I have a shave my face if I'm a bloke, or shave my legs if I'm a woman, when I wake up in the morning, if I did that before I went to bed, I may have a prickly face or prickly legs first thing in the morning. So I always ask, where does the energy come from for my body to grow hair? That obviously, I don't know how much energy that requires, but I reckon a fair bit. For your body to grow hair must require energy. So obviously your body uses energy during the night. But how much fuel do I need to put in first thing in the morning if I ate late at night? If I ate at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I haven't eaten anything since 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I get up at 7, I might be starving hungry, which is my most important point of all. The human body has this amazing mechanism. Have you ever heard of it? It's called hunger. If you require food, your endocrine system, your hormones will say, Rowie, eat some food, we're hungry. That's the hormone, the stay alive system, the hormonal system in the body is so incredibly clever. If you need food, it will tell you. If you're thirsty, it creates thirst. If you need water, so that you drink water or have a drink. If you're tired, you have a mechanism in your body to say, go sleeping. If you're full, your body says, stop eating, I'm full. But is it possible that if you're not fit and you're not strong and that system gets busted, that we get into the habit then of eating morning, noon and night, or we eat 5 times a day because a social media guru said you should, or we do intermittent fasting because a social media guru said we should, but we don't listen to our body anymore. And is it possible that if you listen to your body and you are healthy, fit and strong, that it will tell you when you're hungry? And I always find it really interesting, because if I've eaten late at night, the last thing I want to do when I get up in the morning is eat food. I'm not hungry. Now, I'm not asking you to live like me, but I am asking you to consider, if you want to be healthy, fit and strong, get healthy, fit and strong, and then listen to your body. And is it then possible that your body will say, hey, you haven't eaten for a while, we need some more food? Versus, you fed us last night, you took us to the petrol station last night, you filled us up with food, with fuel, you haven't done anything. The car's been sitting on its ass, sitting in the garage, doing nothing. You haven't put your foot down. You've been gently idling maybe, which means we don't need to fill up the tank again. We might need to top it up, but not fill it up. And I think that's a really interesting analogy to consider. When do we actually need food? The next thing to consider, of course, is activity levels, and everybody has different activity levels. So to say to somebody, you should eat 3 times a day when they don't do anything. So if I eat breakfast, do nothing, when do I need to eat lunch? When does my body actually need food? And is it possible to listen to your body and it will tell you? Versus, and I always have a giggle because the 3 meals a day thing came from somewhere. So of course, let's go find out where from. And I now live in the country, I'm a rural woman. The rural folks, they get up really early, sunrise. They go out and work their asses off for a couple of hours, literally lifting, pulling, carrying, ploughing, doing stuff. And they come in at 8 or 9 in the morning, starving because they've been literally working hard. They've been burning calories, using their muscles, getting puffed. So they come in and have a farmer's breakfast. I always have a giggle because every cafe you go to anywhere in the world, trendy cafe, you can get a farmer's breakfast. But a farmer's breakfast is designed for people who work really hard. Straight after they get up, they go do some hard work and then they come and have their breakfast. Now that same farmer then will have her big breakfast, then go out and work their ass off again for 2, 3, 4 hours. So when they come in because they're hungry. It's lunchtime at 12 or 1 o'clock because they're bloody hungry, because they've been working really hard. They've been expending calories, using energy. They have to the petrol tank's empty. They have to fill it up again. So then they have lunch, big farmer's lunch, yummy. Then they go out again, 1, 2 in the afternoon. And if you live where I do, the sun doesn't set until 10 o'clock at night. I can work in my garden literally and still see what I'm doing at 10 o'clock at night in the summer, which means I ate something at 2 or 3 if I'm a farmer. I stay outside till 10 o'clock. I've had a very long time with no food. I come in because I'm hungry. So my body's telling me what I need. If I get up in the morning, do nothing, have a big farmer's breakfast, then sit on my ass, watch Netflix, do nothing, do I really need to have a big farmer's lunch? And then I sit on my ass and do nothing, watch Netflix, play computer games, do nothing, and then do I need lunch again, have dinner? It seems a little odd. And all I'm asking you to consider is this: if somebody tells you when to eat, if somebody tells you how many times of the day you should eat, if somebody tells you should intermittent fast, what does that even mean? And I'll go now to the extreme of that. If I'm busy and I'm not hungry and I've got plenty of food in my body from the day before, why do I need to eat food? And it's this is what I wish for everybody. It doesn't matter what I wish, of course, but I just wish people would eat when they're hungry, stop eating when they're full, enjoy all the foods that they love, don't eat anything that you don't like. I always ask this question: food is such a pleasurable experience, such an important part of life. Why would you waste calories on stuff that you don't like? A lot of people say, I'm eating this because it's good for me. Are you enjoying it? No, but it's good for me. Or my trainer told me to eat this, or my dietitian told me to eat this, or my naturopath told me to eat this, or my social media influencer told me that this is good for me. I'm eating it, but I'm not enjoying it. And I'm now going to go back to where I started from, which is the emotion of eating. If you eat something and then feel guilty, what does that do to your body? The neurotransmitters in your body that produce stress. If you eat something or you don't eat something and you want to and you're starving, or you're angry because you can't have it, that's another emotion. Now the starving is a physical side. We obviously, if you don't eat enough food, you'll end up dying. So that's the extreme of that. But if you really want to eat and you can't because I've got to wait another 4 hours before I can eat something, is it possible, number one, that you'll overeat because you've gone 4 hours where you've been hungry and you can't have, mustn't have, don't have. But you end up being angry because you can't have the food that you want to have. And to me, surely food is all about pleasure and performance and pleasure. Eat because you love it, eat because you enjoy it, eat guilt-free, eat when you're hungry, stop eating when you're full, and that's the whole beautiful concept of being healthy, fit and strong. People say to me, Rowie, how can you have a packet of Tim Tams in your kitchen and not eat the whole packet? This one isn't even opened yet. I'm not hungry, so I'm not going to open it now. But when I do open it, will I eat the whole packet? If I'm starving hungry and I haven't eaten for 4 hours, 10 hours, 16 hours, maybe I'll eat the whole packet. But I don't have any challenge with the whole packet. I also don't have any challenge with eating one and putting it away, because if I eat one and thoroughly enjoy it and I don't need any more because my body says I'm full, wouldn't that be a great way to live? Not feeling guilty, not feeling hungry and angry, not getting stressed and emotional about your food, just enjoying everything that you eat. So rather than listen to other people tell you when you should eat, how about listen to your own body? Get really fit, get really strong, and then listen to what your body tells you. And then is it possible that your body will say, you need an orange or an apple or some tomato or some potato because you're lacking in vitamin C. You need to eat some red meat because you might be lacking in iron. You need to eat some bread because you need more carbohydrate for your brain. If you listen carefully to your body, is it possible that it'll tell you exactly what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat, when to stop eating, and most importantly, bloody enjoy your food. So you can sing like I do. I love my food. I love it, love it, love it. I love my food. I love my life, and I love eating food. Woohoo!